Okay, so now we're going to talk about records records in deluxe editions and multiple pressings. And this is sort of a vinyl collector's pet peeve, but I want to try and be as unbiased about it as I can. So I in my last video, my video that came out yesterday, wearing the same thing because I'm recording all this at the same time. In my last video, I talked about the deluxe editions of Shaboozey's Where I've Been Isn't Where I'm Going, and also the deluxe edition of Lainey Wilson's. I'm not smooth in these videos. Like I'm not, some people make it look good. I make it look awkward. And that's all right. But Lainey Wilson's Whirlwind, the deluxe edition of that album, both great albums, but frustrating. The deluxe editions were frustrating to me because I had already purchased the album on vinyl and then these come out, right? So, however, especially in the case of Shaboozey, there was one of the tracks on the deluxe edition that I absolutely wanted. So I made the choice that it was worth it. And Whirlwind was one of my favorite albums last year. So it was worth it. So I paid for these deluxe editions. Now, what I did is I sold my original editions to get the deluxe editions. I am one of those people, I am never going to be someone that's got multiple pressings of the same album. The only exception to that is because of one particular artist. So let me show you that one particular artist. Bam. Anyone know this person? Apparently she's famous. I've got all her studio albums except for Reputation right now. I got to pick up Reputation at some point. But this is Taylor Swift. This is the Tortured Poets department. This specifically is the Albatross version of that album. Now, normally I would not own more than one pressing of an album. The only exception is with Taylor. I do have some of her original versions of albums and the Taylor's version of some of the albums. I bought those Taylor's versions out of respect for her as an artist because I wanted the extra music that came on them. And what I did with the regular versions is I gave them to my mom, who also collects records and loves Taylor Swift. So it worked out okay. But normally, I would never pay for two pressings of an album by the same artist. Two pressings of the same album by an artist. There we go. That made sense. Because I just want the music. I want a cool record. I want like a cool colored variant if there is one. I want all the extra doodads if it's not crazy expensive. But I just want one version of the album to listen to. That's why I buy records. Some people buy Taylor because they want all the variants, and that's awesome. I do not want to yuck other people's yums, okay? So I want to be clear about that. I'm not trying to yuck other people's yums. What drives me crazy, so let's talk specifically about Taylor for a second here. What drives me crazy with Taylor is that she will put out 15 versions of the same album with one extra track on each album. And you're like, man, I want all the songs. So that happened with this, right? I don't know how many versions of this album there were. I picked one that I thought was cool. And also, with Taylor, one of the things that makes it difficult is that she releases a couple variants at a time, and you never know what the other variants will be until you've purchased, you've probably purchased one, because you didn't want to miss out on getting a copy of the album. So, like, for instance, with her new album, I purchased a version of the album, and there may be two more variants that come out later, and I'm going to be like, dang, I really would have rather had those. I like the one that I got, though. But, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, those people who are variant collectors or who just feel like they need to have all the tracks, they'll buy all those variants. And we're talking, let's say on the cheap end, $30 per pressing, 8 different pressings of the album, right? So you're talking $240, is that right? Yeah, that'd be like $240 just for that album, right? Plus tax, plus shipping, whatever. You didn't know when you bought your version that down the road she was going to put out the anthology version with all those extra tracks on it. If I'm being honest, I would rather have the anthology version than the Albatross version, even though I love this cover, I love that specific song. I would rather have the Albatross version. So am I going to buy another variant of this same album? No. What I'll probably end up doing is selling this to get that. Now, in the world of Taylor Swift, that's doable because this will fetch me a good chunk of change. Those variants get you a lot of money, but that doesn't work that way with every artist, right? So I want to talk about the logistics of that. Now, as a businesswoman, I think that is a brilliant, brilliant idea. Think about the amount of money that she's making on these albums. And I don't think that Taylor is like a selfish, stingy person. There are a lot of people that have a lot of money out there, right? Because Taylor's a billionaire, right? Now, there's a lot of people that have a lot of money out there that they take that money and they hoard it. But we see time and time again all the ways in which Taylor Swift is generous in giving to the world around her, how she donated like $10 million to California wildfires, right? So I don't think of it as a selfish act by her. So as a businesswoman, it's very bright, very, very bright. She can sell you 8 variants of the same record and then come out with a deluxe edition. As a collector, and especially one that is not affluent and really wants the music, it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating to put your money into an album only to later find out, hey, if you really want all the music, you got to buy this other version of the album. And so either then you don't have all the music, or you got to go through the hassle of selling your album to get the other album, and you still may be paying more out of pocket, right? So that's a pet peeve of mine. And I'll give you a couple more examples. Blink-182's last album, One More Time. I bought that album as soon as it came out because I was so excited for Tom to be back with the band. Went and saw them on tour even. And then they came out with the One More Time Deluxe Edition. Now, they did something that I think is very smart, and I wish more bands would do this, but there's also a part of it I don't like. When they released the Deluxe Edition, they released a version with all the songs, but they also released a version that was only the new tracks. So if you already had the old tracks, you didn't have to buy another version of that. That's awesome. I wish more bands would do that. Just sell an EP. Put it on a 10-inch vinyl record. I like 10 inches. I know some people have a problem with them. I don't see why. But put it on a 10-inch vinyl record and put your 8 tracks on there or whatever, right? That would be amazing. I would buy that every time. I wish more bands did that like Blink-182 did. Here's what I don't love. The extra tracks version, where you're just getting the extra tracks, was like $38. But the deluxe edition with everything was like $41 or $42. So you're not paying much more to just get all of it again because the extra tracks version is so expensive. So I think that you sell the extra tracks as an EP separately, and then you charge it at a decent price. Don't inflate it so much. That's how you take care of your fans. That's what I would like. Now, understand, I'm not talking bad about any of these bands. I love all these bands, or I wouldn't have their vinyl. But I do wish that this part of collecting was a little bit different. I want to show you one more example. So, my favorite album from the beginning of this year, I was waiting for this to come out. This is Steven Wilson Jr., Son of Dad, Deluxe Edition. This is a 4 LP set. And man, did I want this. So this has the original album, but it also has the first disc on this is just 2 songs on a full 12-inch vinyl record. It's got Stand By Me, and then it's got I'm a Song. Now, Steven Wilson Jr.'s cover of Stand By Me is insane. It's amazing. And I'm a Song is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. I wanted the deluxe edition so that I could own I'm a Song. But did we need an LP with just 1 track on each side, right? So then we've got 2 LPs that are the actual album, and then we've got an extra LP that is like acoustic demos of songs. And there's a good, let's see, there's 9 demos on here, okay? That's awesome. That's cool. I want those demos. But 4 LP and this puppy costs like $100. It's the most I've ever paid for a single album. Now again, granted, 4 LP, but it's a single album. It's the most I've ever paid for an album. I love it. I really do. But that cost is crazy. Could we have put those first 2 tracks on a 7-inch? Could we have fit the 9 acoustic tracks on a 10-inch? Maybe we've got 2. And is that cheaper? I don't press vinyl. So maybe one of my buddies that works in a company that's pressing vinyl, maybe you can explain it to me. But I'm just thinking, is there a way to cut the cost for the consumer? Especially right now, things are expensive in the world around us, right? We've got a lot of inflation, a lot of crazy things happening with all the tariffs. So let's make these albums more available for like the average person, you know? I don't regret purchasing any of these albums, but I do wish we could do these deluxe editions, these bonus track editions and all that a little bit differently. Anyway, if you like this video, first of all, tell me what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I making a big deal out of it? Do you guys agree with me about the business savviness of this, that like it makes for a great business person? And then, you know, what are some of the albums that you bought that you got sucked into this trap for? Like, comment, and subscribe, all the stuff. Share this video. Help other people see my videos. I'm not looking to be an influencer. That's not who I am. I'm 43 years old. Who cares what anyone thinks about me, really? But I would love to see some more community built around like this passion, because this is obviously something that I care a whole lot about. So get some people, you know, to show this video to them and get their input too. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm recording one more today, so they'll be coming out over the next 3 days. I'm going to talk about my favorite books, or the books that I read for the month of August. So I'll see you later.